Hey everybody, welcome to Building with Sand, episode 43. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2013. Yesterday, 1.5.1 was released, fixing a bunch of bugs that were brought about by 1.5. So here we are. This is the collection area of my witch farm. I got a request to show off some of what I've been working on behind the scenes. It's pretty simple down here. I got a portal goes right to, almost right next to where my wither skeleton farm is. It's just a mob trap. Things fall down and they die. The witches die. I have two hoppers right there, and they feed into this chest to give me all the goodies. I've literally been standing here for at least 2 days, not more, and collecting quite a bit of stuff. Most of it is useless to me, although I have been using the sticks. I don't know what I'm going to do with these spider eyes. I almost never use those in potions. Now I have glass bottles for the rest of my life. The glowstone dust is super useful for various things. Potions, and also this is what, two stacks and a quarter of glowstone blocks. The sugar, I only need sugar because I have a sugar farm. Redstone is super handy if I don't want to go mining for it. And then all this gunpowder is really what I built this for. I really need gunpowder to do demo in the nether. Once this stack is done, I'll have 2 stacks worth for TNT. Or I'll be able to make 2 stacks of TNT, which will get me a lot of things completed. Hopefully it'll make enough space in the nether to actually make my wither skeleton farm usable or efficient. There's little living quarters in here. We'll go up top and take a look at it. Luckily the area that I built in was a pretty open swamp, and it was pretty easy to clean out most of everything. I'm still now and then dealing with finding a cave full of mobs, but what few there are that maybe potentially spawn things, or don't, what few caves that I've noticed that might be around, mostly are filled with water or lava. And so there are fairly few spawn locations in them for mobs, so I don't have to worry as much. Here is the trap, well, the spawner. This is a Doc M77 design, who's a pretty prominent Minecrafter. Pretty much straight off his design. I could have gone with a couple of different things, like a shaker to knock all the witches off, because in this one they just kind of have to walk off themselves. There's a big covering over the top to keep it completely dark underneath, and just some glass and things to keep it so only witches spawn. Basically there's just a thing of water, and yeah, and they can throw potions. Well, I stood a little too close. But they just fall into the water and get sent to their deaths, and it too close for spawns, but a little further back and they should start spawning. It might take a minute. I've seen massive groups spawn at once, and then occasionally just nothing spawns for a while. So, I mean, looking around, there's supposedly a 58 entity count max right now, but I'm not seeing much of anything, and a lot of those are squids in the vicinity. There might be some caves over there that I could help push out a bit, but it's not really a big deal. Most things that far away, if they spawn, will despawn. So I mean, we already have six of them right there, and I just got a bunch more to fall down, so they spawn pretty well. It's not 100% efficient, but it's at least 90%, I'm thinking. What is that? And some terrage up in the clouds. But yeah, this is really what I've been working on. The top is just covered in water, so nothing spawns up there. Basically I just stand underneath it for hours and hours a day until I get gunpowder, and that's really it. So we'll move on to the next part of the episode, and I'll see you there. So here we are back in the desert. Truth be told, since I've literally just been AFKing for days in this witch farm, I haven't really gotten anything done. And I wasn't really sure too much about what to do this episode, although there's always things to do. I came over here, and as I've been doing, I've been building stuff in creative to put up. I put up a new sort of building here. It's a little tower for very small living quarters, however. We just have a little place here for seating and the forge for cooking, and then a bedroom. And up here's a little storage area, and then nothing up top. One thing I did was I put slabs on top of the building, wood slabs, to give it a different look. I might have wanted to go with a different color, but I think I'm going to alternate between the spruce and the oak. One thing I don't know if I ever mentioned with this city build was that I was trying to take, if I was in an area with a lot of different wood types like here, I would want to try to bring, use all those different types of wood in the builds in the area, while we have, say, in the middle areas or over in Old Town, we're closer to only just regular oak trees, or say up by Central, we only have the swamp and taiga over there, so we use more dark woods and occasionally oak. So that's kind of the thing I'm going for, using the close natural resources, although I don't think anyone really noticed. So that's this building. Let's go back down. I'll take a look at something else I was working on with this. Oops. I have this little archway here. I am going to build another building adjacent to it, kind of attached. One thing I was going for, and I did, was I put little up on top where I have the stairs bordering. I did a couple bit of half slabs, so it looks like parts are missing. And I also put stairs in and random spots on these buildings, along with the random spots of smooth sandstone, to make it look like there are bricks missing, just to add some randomness to the building, so try to contribute to the worn out factor. This is Poorsville, and while I am still going to go for an artistic kind of community, I wanted to show that it's not like the rich, beachside resort town that I want to build Central into. So that's all I've worked on here. I'm going to go over the palace, where I was doing some more work right before we started this episode. Make it a little quicker. One day I'll actually finish building the roads around here and make it so things move quicker with ice and stuff, but roads have been very low priority for me. One thing I did do was I turned on what is that over there? Somebody's mine or something. I turned on fancy grass. I think it's just an Optifine thing, but it makes grass kind of go over the edges a bit. I don't know if I like it, but it's on for right now. I'm trying to think if I did anything else since last episode. Life-wise, I can't really think of it. You might want to go to the other side. You can tell I put one of the fountains in on this side, and I even bordered it with little smaller fountains. And it's really hard to tell because but I went up and I switched the sword's white parts with quartz. I think it looks a lot better. I left this side done how it was to give you guys a comparison before going up and changing it. So that's one thing I wanted to do today. Why do I have a zombie there? That's so weird. There should never be mobs up there because he's standing on top of a piece of glowstone. Almost made it. Right. No, he's not. What? How did that happen? Well, dang. But still, there should be no zombie spawn here. We're standing on a 910 8 block light. I don't know. I think it was a new lighting update in 1.5, and that's why we're getting these random spawns in places. Because there literally should have been no zombie anywhere near there. And he was in this one. He wasn't in the one above us. Oh, God. So I don't know what the deal is with that. That might explain why we had that creeper explosion a couple episodes ago, where mobs are spawning in places where they shouldn't be spawning, which is complete insanity, I think, because, you know, it's just going against the rules of mob spawns. I don't really understand that. Up here, even up here is lit up pretty well. Yeah, so there's really no reason for why there should be any mob. What the heck? So I don't know what it is I'm doing differently, but ever since the most recent patch, come on. Ever since the most recent patch, I have been throwing stuff out of my inventory. When I switch locations of said item, they like, I don't know if I'm clicking E too quick, and when I still have the items in hand, and they're taking longer than usual to get stuck into their little slots or whatever, but I've been throwing stuff left and right. The other day, I almost threw a diamond pick into oncoming lava as I scrambled to switch blocks out and make it so that I could, you know, block off the incoming lava. So I really don't know what the deal is with that. I've never had that happen until recently. I'll take these with me. I'm gonna replace those with iron. I don't have any on me. Oh, can't go through the door. That's weird. But, yeah, so I am scratching my head there. Why the zombie up there, and when the lights were well and all that. I just made it daytime because I wanted to make sure that this redstone light we have up here worked right, and it does. So that's great. All our paintings came back. We're going to do a little work up here if we have time for it today. What I want to do right now is, it should be pretty quick. It only took me a couple minutes to replace the blocks we had up top, or up in the sword, so I wanted to do that and build the new fountains on this side, on this east side of the archway. I did try to replace the red blocks in the sword's handle with redstone blocks, but I didn't like the way it looked. I do like these blocks, but just kind of stood out in a weird way when I put them on there, so I switched them back. Let's do this real quick. Trying to think if there's anything exciting I did this week, and I'm really stretching on that one. Nothing really. Got taxes done, although that's not exciting in the slightest. Let's see, what else? Not a lot. I haven't even been playing video games very much recently. I just haven't been in the mood for some reason. I think it's kind of the time of year where game releases start slowing down, and there's nothing I'm really interested in playing, really. Trying to think if there's been anything announced. Nothing super special sticks out in my mind. I know Battlefield 4 is getting an announcement, but that's not a game I'm going to buy after the nonsense crapload that was Battlefield 3, and just, I don't know, I'm really sick of EA games in general. I'm really sick of them. By this SimCity fiasco that occurred, and they're just general disdain, I think, for the gaming community, and trying apparently to become like the next evil, like most evil gaming company possible. I mean, they already got rated like the worst company of 2011 or so. and they really aren't doing anything to increase their PR. I know that their CEO had just stepped down, and I'm wondering if that had anything to do with the fiasco of the SimCity launch, or what. But after how badly Battlefield 3 let me down, or how much I don't trust EA anymore after that, I don't think I'm going to get Battlefield 4. I'm really sick of games that are going into a yearly sort of ordeal. Like, you know, I'd prefer game companies actually take their time and make quality games these days instead of pushing a new one out every year. And I think we have companies like Activision and Infinity Ward with their Call of Duty's franchise to blame for that sort of thing, because they really worked on dumbing down FPS gaming, and now, you know, that's taking a hit. And we have Ubisoft to blame because what they're doing with Assassin's Creed. And even though I said I was not going to play another Assassin's Creed, you know, we have the release, or the announcement for the new Assassin's Creed 4 coming out, which is going to be a pirate-based open-world sailing, naval fighting, assassinating game, which honestly looks great, but I'm super wary. And I've been a person to I don't know why I'm going there. I've been the kind of person to pre-order games for a long time. Like, I've been pre-ordering games for years. I don't know when I started doing it. It's kind of when I started working and having a job and stuff, and it just carried on since then. I don't know why certain people look down on it so much. You know, I'm gonna buy the game regardless of it being pre-ordering it or not. I don't know why it's such a big deal. You know, if I pre-order, but that's a discussion for another time, I suppose. Let's see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, just the decline of gaming. So I was pretty... I don't know. I think what I need to do is stop pre-ordering games that I don't trust anymore. Those kind of games are going to be Battlefield series, and the Assassin's Creed series. I didn't actually pre-order... I actually did pre-order Black Ops 2. The completely idiotic move that was, but I did actually get a pretty decent amount of play out of that, and accepting the fact that it was a game for, you know, not to say dumb people, but it's a very dumbed down FPS. It's not like playing old, you know, Counter-Strike or Quake, Unreal Tournament, like the older genre FPS, where it was very twitchy, but it had a very high tactical, strategic part to it, where all Call of Duty is and Battlefield is becoming is just point and shoot, and, you know, it's kind of who shoots faster, quicker. That you know, it's it. It's just shallow. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, you know, I think game companies can redeem themselves, but you know, and I thought EA was actually going towards that a couple years ago, when they went around to try to remove that image of them being a terrible company, and they've seemingly gone back to it. For whatever reason. Maybe it's their... I mean, sure, it's always going to be the investors and things like that, but... Oh, this is going to be sort of a pain to clean up. It won't let me on this. What the... I did not mean to jump there. Oh. Maybe I'll do this later off camera if I can't get this done. Right here. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. There's, I'm trying to think. There really hasn't been anything that interests me. I mean, what were the big games that came out recently that were, super flawed, aside from SimCity? I mean, I did like Dead Space 3, and I hear it has an amazing, DLC pack. I don't know if really, I don't really generally buy DLC. And I don't know if 15 bucks is really worth, if it's really worth 15 bucks. But I don't know. I'm tempted to watch somebody play it and then see if it's worth buying, but then I might not want to play it after that, and that happens to me sometimes. I'm on the edge of whether or not I want to buy a game, and watching it might make it so I don't want to. And that happened with Devil May Cry, which I actually pre-ordered and canceled my pre-order right before it came out, a couple of days before it came out, because I was really not sure what was going on with it. And actually, in retrospect, it turned out to be a good game, I think. Or some people think so, at least. And I think that's really what counts most of the time, is some people like it. But I never ended up actually really getting into it, or wanting to get it, and now it's too late, and I'll never probably turn back towards it. But I don't know. It's hard to say, really, when it comes to some of these game developers nowadays. Maybe it's why I've been following a lot more Kickstarter games. Things like Chivalry, which made a pretty good showing on Kickstarter, and then the new Tides of Numeria game, which is based on, you know, it's a sort of sequel to the old Planescape Torment game. And then there's stuff like there's some new games like the old Privateer series, or some of the kind of 4D space shooters that were big back in the, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s, or even before that, actually. Earlier 90s stuff. Which are seemingly making a comeback on Kickstarter and crowdsourcing kind of things. And then there's a new Richard Garriott game. While I used to think that Lord British had, you know, was infallible when it came to video games, I really don't know anymore. He's been out of this thing, he's been out of the loop for a while, and he's kind of nuts, honestly. So I'm amazed people threw their money at him in such fervor, considering that there was like nothing to show about what the game is really going to be. Yeah, except for some really low-res graphics, so I don't know. I'm not putting in for that one. Then there have been some games that I really wanted to play that didn't make it on Kickstarter, so it's really hard to say, but I mean, most of the Kickstarter, most of the stuff that I have been a part of on Kickstarter have been fairly successful, and I've had really good experiences with most of what I have put in for there. A couple of things that didn't really work out so great, but I don't think they were like a, you know, absolute flop or anything. But so maybe that's how gaming is going to go in the future. Is we're going to go towards more towards indie games from Kickstarter, or indie games on things like Steam Greenlight. Or even just, they were not really indie games, but they're from bigger name developers or people on Kickstarter that aren't going the old developer publisher route, you know, and trying to do it a new way. And sometimes it turns out better, because that lets the people decide with their money whether or not the game should be made, and then, you know, they're not rushed. The people making the game can decide for themselves, you know, how long it might, you know, it should take, and usually that's a good thing. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep watching that sort of thing and see from there Maybe I'll be able to weigh in whether or not that's a good thing in the, you know, in the coming few years or whatever, but we'll see. Now that we have quartz, I wanted to do some design changes here and clean things up a bit. Thought something like this would actually look really cool, and I do like that quite a bit. I'm contemplating putting slabs down because this is all the quartz I have currently. What's that noise? I don't know. This is all the quartz I have, but you know, this is supposed to be an opulent sort of palace, so we're going full blocks here, just so we feel rich for the time being. And this actually brightens up the area quite a bit. I do like that a lot. I'm not sure we can do it here on the sides. I do want to put it... I want to put it kind of... oh. Yeah, I did it again. Why do I keep doing that? Honestly, don't know what is up with that. Probably going to need to go get some more quartz if I'm going to do this. So we'll keep it like that. I'll keep this stuff sandstone. And then I'm going to do the other sides. And then I think I should do some of that out here too. Yeah. As I hate to do it, now that we just put it in, I'm going to take it out again and make it into slabs. It's honestly pointless to be wasting all this quartz like that. While it's not a difficult block to get, it is kind of a pain to get, and I'd rather just make efficient use of what I have, at least for the time being. And why do I keep breaking this? So, okay. We're gonna put this in. Get some things. I think I also want to use this inside the area over here. I might actually put it down as the main flooring instead of sandstone. That's a new feature. If you double click on something in your inventory, it'll suck everything into a stack or make things into stacks. It's handy. I do want to put some slabs also into... How did I not? How did I miss this? Into the pools around here. Okay, that's much better. These sort of remind me of the target symbols right now, thinking about it, but it's in orange. But I'm sticking with it. I just like the way it looks. It breaks up a lot of the monotony that we have going on with you can bring that chest with, I mean that. I don't know why I keep getting new achievements when I've had these things forever. I really like the way this quartz looks. And there's other blocks. Well, I'm going to stick with the smooth version here. The I really like the way the chisel looks, although I have to experiment with it a bit to see where that kind of design would look the best. Also, the pillared ones are really cool. They work like logs, so you can have, you know, fallen pillars or even horizontal pillars, whatever you would call that. And yeah, I think they'll add a lot to what we have going on in the city if I can find the good places to put them. That's the issue. I'm not 100% sure on where I should use it, because as the blocks do look really great, but at the same time, I'm worried about them being overpowering in terms of the sandstone look we're going for. So I'm trying to use them sparsely, and I think somewhere here, like in the palace, is a great place to use them because of it's the palace. Excuse me. But at the same time, can't be throwing it around, you know, in everybody's houses down in Portersville. Yeah, I like that. Now, you know, we could even do something like replace these pillars with marble. That would be interesting. Thinking about it. I'm sort of wondering. So you can put these back into... I'm gonna mess with that, but I'm gonna do it off camera. I'm gonna decide whether or not I want to switch these pillars. We're gonna call it here for an episode. Hopefully, felt like we actually got some stuff accomplished. Really, just today was getting back to work. Since the last few episodes have been kind of whatever we've been doing. I mean, we did leave off on working on... I need to fix that. We did leave off on working on the palace because we were bored with the bazaar, and then we had to wait on the palace because of the patch, and now we're back. Now we're working our way back again, and with all the new bug fixes and things, we can get back to work. So I will be doing a lot of this stuff, hopefully between now and next episode. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. As always, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to this series. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Take care, everybody.